welcome to the Raw Light podcast. My name is Danielle Baker, and I really thank you for being here today. I want to firstly say thank you so much to everybody who reached out to me and basically said that they loved the podcast and they really loved what I was saying and they shared a bit of their story with me. I really appreciate it. It's actually amazing and I'm super grateful. 50 of you guys downloaded it on the first day, which I'm absolutely stoked about. I want to reach as many people as I can. So if I could ask you guys, if you do feel like this podcast is doing well and you're loving it, please rate it. Please write some information on it so that other people know what they're getting into when they listen to it. That would be absolutely amazing. Now, today I thought that we would go into talking about connecting with your baby and the real impact that I felt it had on me and myself when I first had Oakley. When we first had Oakley, honestly, the birth, I will go through that birth story a little bit today as well. But basically, I honestly, before giving birth, I planned everything. So I read all the books, all the breastfeeding books. I felt really comfortable with my connection with Oakley in my tummy. I felt like we connected incredibly, beautifully. I could feel her love for me so much when she was in my belly. So I was so excited for her to be here. But I was also really nervous about giving birth. And I feel like there's a lot put on women these days, especially if you don't have people around you that have babies, or if if mums aren't very open and honest about what it is and how it is actually to give birth, because there's a lot of trauma around birth for women, and I totally understand that. But at the same time, I feel like it's really important for us as women to be able to safely share our stories and go into the trauma and help kind of heal that trauma that we kind of hide and hinder from everybody, to seem like that we're doing okay just to survive in those first 8 weeks to 3 months to 4 months. Sometimes it takes people longer. I remember specifically speaking to one of my friends. She lives in Bali, and I said to her, I feel like a terrible mum. I remember you mentioning to me that you had trouble connecting with your bub when bub was first born. And she said, yes, I did. I had a lot of trouble. I lost my milk at 6 weeks and I had started to lose mine at 6 weeks. And it was mainly because both of us mentally were not coping with becoming a mum. And I don't feel like there's a lot of support out there for becoming a mum. Honestly, I honestly don't. There's a lot around, like now that you've got incredible doulas that can help, beautiful midwives, but to really have that support network after is so incredibly important. I was lucky enough to have everybody that I did in my life be so supportive after I gave birth, but I really did not cope very well when Oakley was born. And also, it took me a very long time to feel connected to Oakley, and I thought that there was actually something wrong with me. I was so sore from giving birth. I had an episiotomy at home, in my home birth, and I had stitches afterwards, which is it's fine. My midwife was absolutely incredible and took the best care of me. Honestly, I would not wanted to go to hospital, as in, like, I had the best experience that I could at home, and it wasn't a water birth, it was an outside birth as well. So basically I got the full frontal feeling of what it's like to really go into, sorry, excuse me, a natural birth. So it was a lot. So my waters broke at 7 a.m. in the morning. And I said to Josh, oh my God, my waters just broke. I think Oakley's coming. Sorry, just give me 1 second. I need to have a little sip of water. Sorry, guys. I just need to have a little bit of a sip of water. A little cough tickle in my throat. So I gave birth to Oakley, and it was 12 hours later at 6:59. And going through that process, I actually found labor it was exhausting by the end of it, but it was mainly exhausting because I was pushing for 2 hours. I actually don't think that I was pushing internal pushing her down until the last 30 minutes when she actually started to come out. I was pretty lucky like that, but I did every position under the sun. Oakley was stuck in my hips. She was, because of my body and how small I am and how small my hips are, she genuinely actually got stuck. And I know that people don't like, a lot of women don't like saying that you're small, that your baby's big and all those things, but my hips were genuinely a little bit too small for her. And it also made me think that's because I wasn't probably in the perfect position for her. Like I kept following what I thought was right with it, and I really felt like I wasn't properly in my body or in my intuition with it all. I felt like I was just basically just surviving at that moment when we hit like 11 hours. I felt like I was in pretty intense labor for a really long time, pushing her down. We also discovered that my midwife had to pop three little water extra bubbles around Oakley. So Oakley was coming down and my labor was intense, and then all of a sudden it just basically stopped. It just stopped. So we decided to have a little look, and my midwife had a little bit of a feel around, and she noticed that there was a couple of air pocket bubbles, which a lot of people say they've never heard of. So she went in and popped one, and then she felt an extra two and then popped the extra two. So I was quite fluidy with Oakley. um we genuinely just, yeah, I was, don't know why. I drank a lot of water, I walked a lot, but I still was very fluidy. And I was also very hot all the time, constantly as well. And we gave birth in winter, so that says a lot, I think. But because of all the hormones and everything changing, so I went into that, and then after that, the pain started to pick up a lot. But I actually genuinely felt like the surges weren't that bad. It was the fact that Oakley wasn't coming down enough, on and off at the time. So I we went into, Josh and I ended up sitting, I sat on the toilet to bring Oakley down, and Josh was sitting behind me holding my hips, and then I could feel her starting to really move. I ended up on the mattress that was in the lounge room, and I was on my side. I had one foot up on one midwife and another foot up on another midwife, and I ended up giving birth on my side, pushing against them for a little bit of an extra push, and then I had the episiotomy. I can never say that word, honestly. Episiotomy. I can't say it. Anyway, you guys get the gist. So they did a little slit, and then Oakley came out. Now, after this, my body was in so much shock. Because you've never experienced that before. Your first time, your first birth, okay? I've never ever experienced that before, ever. Like, I've never given birth before. And giving birth this time, like my very first time, I keep saying this time like I'm gonna give birth again, not for a while, guys, but it really did shock my body. I felt like I shook. I actually shook for about 4 to 5 days after. I couldn't eat. I felt like my body was in so much shock to what just happened that it felt like it was sort of trauma to me. Now, I didn't have a traumatic birth. For me, it was not traumatic. But giving birth and then having a baby and trying to figure out what to do with it while you're absolutely in pain is just like a whole nother thing. So you're taking care of your vagina because your vagina's sore. So you get a bottle and you squirt on there so you can go to the toilet and things are easier, and you're keeping it clean, and you're up for what, every 2 hours to every hour and a half to feed a baby to an hour. These are the things that we didn't personally know, me and Josh. We didn't know the things like having a zip up bag for her and really snuggling her in really tight when we wanted to put her down was okay, that it was okay to hold her the whole time. Like, there's just those little things. And I mentally myself was not coping because I felt like I started to have anxiety. Like, at night time was fine for me, but then during the day, around like 4 in the afternoon, I would get crippling anxiety and I would start crying. Obviously, I know that with your hormones, when you give birth, it's actually natural when your milk comes in for you to have all these ups and downs emotions until your milk sets in properly after like 4 to 5 days. So everyone's different. Everybody's body is different. But basically, for Josh and myself going through this whole experience as well, Josh had known me as this beautiful, strong person, and then all of a sudden, I just needed him emotionally and physically and everything to help me. And that was a lot for him as well to kind of figure out and navigate as a first time dad. Going into second round, we would be a lot more onto like what we both need, and especially like myself and breastfeeding. I loved breastfeeding, but I also found mentally I just couldn't keep up with it. My hormones, I felt like, dipped way too much. Um, and I just felt like I didn't want Oakley on me or to touch me, which is at the time was really shameful. And I think that's why I did lose the milk, was because I just mentally was just constantly feeling like I was giving, and I'd never experienced that before as well, guys. Like, I'm a very, very independent individual. I always have been my whole life. I, was so used to being selfish. Being starting to be selfless to a baby was just a whole nother thing for me. And I couldn't cope with it. I just couldn't. So choosing to bottle feed was the best thing that we did at 6 weeks. 6 weeks for my mental health and for my emotions. I was a lot more leveled, and I could be there for Oakley. I would. Otherwise, I was just getting really frustrated at the smallest things. And you have that build up over time, and for me it just wasn't going to work. So my husband and my mum and I had a discussion, and we all decided for me and my health it was better. And also after that, Oakley, so before, I should mention, Oakley basically screamed the whole time when I was breastfeeding her. She was always like needing, which, okay, let me be very clear. I'm aware that babies are so fragile at this age and they need mum constantly. I am 100% aware, okay? We are their safety net. We are their be all end all when they are first born. Having Oakley on me was an absolute gift, and I absolutely treasured every moment that I could. But in saying that, I really, really was not coping. So we went on to bottle feeding, and bottle feeding was the best thing for us. Oakley would scream when we would breastfeed, and then even if she was full, she would want to be latched and still suckle, but then she was overly full, she'd get a sore tummy. So then I would take her off and she would just scream and scream and scream, and I'd try settle her. Josh would try settle her. She had lots of gas, so then we would like burp her, try and fart her, do all the tummy things. We literally did everything you could think of. And for us, it was just too much. We both were just trying to figure things out. We were both trying to adjust. And also being on a farm and being isolated, it's basically just you guys all day, constantly, every day, day in, day out. You don't see another person for a really long time. My parents live not far, but they would come and go. But when you're on your own, you get this fear. I used to have this fear that something was going to happen to her, that I would just like, that she would just like die, or that I wouldn't be able to look after her, or, so I started to have anxiety around that, and anxiety when everyone was leaving me. I was worried on my own. And, so a lot of fear that I hadn't felt in years came up for me as a mum. And the more and more that I breastfed at the time, the more and more my mental health started to slip, and I started to have not very good thoughts and stuff like that as well. And basically, just, yeah, it wasn't close to wanting to take my own life or anything like that, but let me make that very, very clear. It wasn't depression, and I feel like I should have actually clarified that in the first podcast. But anxiety was absolutely through the absolute roof, and I did not cope at all. But I basically had to. So from week 2, I was driving with her in the car backwards and forwards from Malur, and I still would stop on the side of the road and check to make sure she was breathing. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I wish that I kind of knew, that it was okay not to have a bond with Oakley until we both could find our way with each other. And it took like 3 months for me and Oakley to really find our groove together and really build a bond together as well. Also, I feel like that I was, for me and Josh, we had a discussion about the fact that how we were going to go with Oakley as a baby and what was best for us. And what was best for us was bassinet sleeping. It worked really well because both of us really like our space, and we both like to wiggle around and sleep. There was nights though that I had Oakley in bed with me when she was around 4 months. I reckon that regression that was kicking in. Every couple of nights she would be in bed with me and sleep with me, and I absolutely loved it, guys. It was so beautiful and I felt connected to her. But I also felt shame because I was like, well, so many people that I know are co-sleeping with their babies and I'm not co-sleeping at all. I feel like I should be doing better. She needs more connection with me. I need to give her more connection. But what I ended up figuring out was the more and more I bonded with her during the day. Even now, I spend a lot of time with Oakley one on one. We read books, I teach her numbers, we talk together, we roll around and play on the ground together. I watch her. I'm on my phone on and off as well if I'm messaging someone, but I'm still paying attention to her. Then I put my phone away. I'm doing cooking, I'm doing cleaning, I'm doing, keeping up with things as well because the household out here it does have to roll, okay? Living on a farm, guys, it's a lot. Like it's like 45 degrees heat. You got flies on your face. You can't go outside too much. So you're basically homebound unless I'm driving to Gelton and being into Gelton a lot. And basically you're wanting a home base. So all of that pressure plus breastfeeding and all those things really got to me at some point or another there, and I felt like that I was never going to find my way back, that I was never going to be able to be the independent strong person that I am. And then I also, something around 4 months switched for me and I realized that I'm never going to get this time back with Oakley again. I'm never going to be able to have her with me like this again. She is absolutely beautiful. She has the most beautiful personality. She has her attention span is out of this world. Like I never thought that she would be so attentive to things. She understands things at the deepest level, guys, honestly. Me just paying her this attention and really giving her my energy and giving her my love day in, day out is enough. And she actually wanted to put herself to sleep. So she started by 6 months because I would always just put her down and then roll her over and she would go to sleep. And then she always slept on her side too. I don't know why, but I just started sleeping her on her side. She's always had a really strong neck, so she was able to like move backwards and forwards. I was never worried about that. Um, but yeah, she basically just like is such a strong little bub. Hey, and every parent is different. I had lots of conversations with my friends going on about like when she was going through a sleep regression or, and she was learning so much skills that she was so upset. So I was learning it was okay for her to be on me 24 hours a day. But then at night time I needed my space so that I could properly mentally help her, because if I'm not mentally good, how am I supposed to help her, honestly? She relies on me so much and I'm on my own so much that she relies on me. So I need to be available for her. So at nighttime, it worked better for us, her being in her cot, and she slept super, super well. Woke up every, 3 to 4 hours because she was bottle fed. She would sleep like 5 hours at a time, have 3 bottles during the night, and then was always a 5 o'clock early morning waker because Josh used to get up at 5. Um, and then as we've gone on, we've done well with, I think we've done well with her sleep. And that's just basically like, I know babies don't sleep through the night. I'm well aware of that. Oakley has always been a really good sleeper at nighttime and a not very good sleeper during the day. Like during the day, I was on constantly, but then she would sleep a bulk of the night. So that just worked well for us. And every baby's different, and some nights she's still up at 3 a.m. when she's teething, and that's just the way that it is, and it's fine. But when I was used to like her sleeping a lot and then all of a sudden waking up quite a bit and stuff like that, it's an adjustment again, but then you have to learn to just flow with it and grow with it. As Oakley and I have gone on, we've built such a beautiful, strong connection because I've spent the time with her and I've made sure that I've played with her. Even as she gone, we never used to leave her on the mat. I used to just go over and play with her the whole time. So I was on all day playing with her. Now I'm a little bit more relaxed with things, and yeah, I think I'm a little bit more chilled. But yeah, it was really hard for me connecting with her at the start and trying to figure out us and how we worked as mother-daughter sort of thing, and me also stepping into more of a mother, going from like maiden to mother. You don't lose your maiden, but your mother really starts to step forward. And I really feel that it is a transformation that takes up to 12 months and I'm still in it. When Oakley hit 7.5, she had like a massive shift in her sleep, where she was awake every couple of hours and she cracked 4 teeth at once. So that was another shift in itself, but I genuinely felt lost within myself. And then after she kind of came out of it, I felt like I came out of it as a new mum. And I've got a lot of mum friends that have been talking to me about just how they struggle with either going back to work if they need to or want to for their own health and being at home with their bub. And I think that there needs to be less pressure on us to figure things out so fast and so quickly. Do what's best for you and your health. Do what's best for you and your family and your baby. And also now, Josh and I are very much like, this is our family and we're going to create what we want to create. And it's very new aged with things. I still have a few little old fashioned things that I feel is old fashioned because a lot of people don't really do it. And I know people say that they don't believe in sleep training their baby, but Oakley, I followed her. I mainly followed, let me be honest, I followed her and her cycles. So when she was little, I was like, okay, you're tired. I would put her down. She would sleep for as long as she wanted, and then she would wake, and then I would kind of just follow her. But when she did go to sleep, guys, I would just make sure that if she was going through a bit of a hard time after 30 minutes and I knew that she needed another 30 to 40 minutes, then I would take the time to help her go back to sleep again, whether that was rocking in a chair and she slept on me or she went back in her cot. That was just the way that I did it and I chose to do it. And she's a great sleeper now, but that worked for us and Oakley's personality. Every baby has a personality and every baby basically has their own little soul in themselves. So even if I was to put her down 5 times and she woke up 6 times or whatever, that she might need more love and nurturing, or she might need a little bit more space. Oakley's very space orientated, we've noticed. Like she loves, like genuinely, I tried to hold her, for example, just before she was really upset when I was trying to put her to sleep because we've just started to go 3.5 hours for her wake window. And yesterday we had a little incident, so she ended up at the ER. So we're in hospital for a couple of hours sorting out a few things, and she was overly tired. She had like a 6 hour wake window, but like such trooper. I did not cry once. Anyways, she just rolled with it, fell asleep in my arms for 10 minutes, and then it was like a little cat nap, and off she went. She was good again. And then we got home, and then, she was tired, and we put her to bed early, and she slept all night because she was so tired. And then basically today, she's just been a lot more tired and can only last like 2.5 hours for a wake window. So, each day changes. And each day is different. And I just want to let you know that, like, whatever connection you have with your child and your baby is your own, and it might take time. It might be straight away, but I would see things on like Instagram where people are like connecting with my baby straight away, so amazing. I just feel like I've just been connected with my child forever. And I feel like those people were like born to be mums. Like legit, we're just like, this is like my passion. I'm all here for it. I'm all in. For me, I feel like that I have a bit more, this is my purpose, helping women as well, doing both, being Oakley's mum and helping women as well is really, really, really important to me. And I had a few people like ask me, I'm going to go into some spiritual stuff now, but I had some people kind of ask me, they said, Danielle, so why do you help women? Like, why is this your job? Why do you feel like this is your job to do it? Like, why? So basically, when I was younger, I had something happen to me, and I feel like I've always been for women, and I feel like I've always wanted to help them thrive in their best way. I also have a lot of knowledge from my own book that I basically went through a lot with men, um, a lot of learning and life lessons when it comes to self love and it comes to karmic relationships, so very toxic relationships, to soulmate relationships. Um, and it's very interesting because I feel like I have a lot to give to women. And because I can do the work that I do with my energy, I feel like it became a passion more and more that I learned about myself, more and more that I accepted myself spiritually, the more and more I accepted myself as a mother. I have now kind of found more of a direction of where I'm wanting to go. I'm wanting women to thrive within themselves, to find themselves again before or after birth, in between, whenever it is. I really want women to thrive. And the best way that I've known how to heal my own self, I've never ever gone to a counselor, I've never gone to a psychiatrist or anything like that. I did all energy work. This is just my journey this lifetime, is to do all energy work. I haven't stopped ever since having Oakley, so I've still been shifting very, very fast and quickly like I normally do, but I've had a baby to kind of work with as well. And I feel really, really passionate about this, guys. Energy is my passion, and I want people to have the access to it that I have the access to it. There is no boundaries. It is all about what you feel this lifetime and how you want to thrive. When we change our energy, Dr. Joe Dispenza always says, if you want to change your energy, if you change your energy, you will change your life. And that is just basically what I do. I just want to help people learn that what they teach you in school isn't what you have to settle for. You can be an entrepreneur. If you have a business idea and you thrive on it, you can literally heal and shift anything in that way. Okay, so for example, I always use this example with everybody, all my clients I talk to. I heard it once and it's my favorite thing in the world. If there's this avocado salesman, okay, he used to sell avocados from a stall, and he was so passionate about avocados, so passionate about avocados, that he could sell a stall out within a couple of hours and have to go and refill. He owned an avocado farm. So basically, he had so much passion for what he was doing, he could sell out in minutes. So when people say to people online that they're faking it, some people are in it for the money. Some people are actually there because their passion is helping people. Their actual passion is helping people. And some people in life won't ever, this is probably going to shock some people, but some people in life aren't actually here to change people's lives. Some people in life are here to have a normal, mundane life, and that is totally fine. There is nothing wrong with that. We need everybody here in the world. But for the people who are here and wanting to change their life and wanting to change other people's lives, this is really important. Start that business. Build the foundation of a business. This is what I'm doing right now. Rebuilding my foundation of a business from the places that I know best. Help people out. If you don't live your purpose, you're not serving those who could benefit from it, no matter what business it is. Everybody has a place in this world, okay? And I've discovered that after becoming a mother, that I have more passion than ever to take on the challenges of revamping myself and re kind of sharing and expanding in the world with what I do. So I rambled on for a little bit there, but I really wanted you guys to know that whatever you want to do, whatever business you want to start, your passion, your purpose is here for a reason. Okay, and it's time to not be afraid to step forward. So, changing energy and changing your frequency helps you to align with the frequency of people and things that you want. I truly believe that that's how I have so much information, is because from a very young age, I signed up for this life to learn a lot very quick, very fast through my 20s. And man, can I tell you, I'm fucking excited to hit my 30s. I'm so excited to become 30. Like, my 20s were so in the thick of it, getting to know myself so deeply and learning that my self love is the strongest love in this world to share, that I need to share more of it. I need to share what I've been through, because helping women, especially mothers as well, through this new stage and new phase that people aren't real and raw about. Do you know how many people I've spoken to and they're kind of like, oh, so how are you going? And, I'll be like, oh, it's really tough, hey, sometimes. And they don't know what to say back, or they just like, oh, yeah, it's just being a mother. It's not just being a mother, okay? This shit's hard. Like, it is tough. Trying to choose yourself and your business and then becoming a mother as well is what I'm experiencing at the moment. It's tough, but because I have the drive at the moment to keep expanding my business, I'm happy within. I like lost myself. So literally like basically a month ago, all my girlfriends were worried about me. My close friends kept messaging me and they were like, what is going on? Like, you feel like you've lost yourself. And they were right. I was going through a bit of a transformation to figure out that I wanted to start my business again, but I was unsure how to do it. So I started this podcast because I thought, you know what? I'm taking Reiki clients at night time, but if I can't actually expand on what I'm doing, I want to expand with my voice. I want to share with my voice as best as I possibly can. So, guys, I know that I kind of get off topic and off traffic from what we normally talk about, but I like to kind of share a bit of a story, share a bit of a world with you, and paint you a bit of a picture of what it's like to be a mum, try and build that connection with your child, how it can sometimes feel like you don't even know them and you're trying to figure out yourself. And then also wrapping back around to a spiritual version of yourself or some sort of version of yourself that is rebirthing. And anyone that says that they've stayed the same after birth isn't telling the truth, because you don't stay the same. You've literally done an alter living, what is it? A life altering thing, and all of a sudden it's not a big deal. It's played down. You're kicked out of hospitals. You've had lots of trauma during birth. You're not connecting with your baby. You can't breastfeed, or you're not sure, it didn't work out, and you're wanting to try something different this time. Like whatever it is that you're wanting in life, mama or beautiful woman who's listening to this, you can have it, and you can have something beautiful. Stop settling for less with everything, with work, with men, with life. Seriously, like working on my relationship with my husband every single day is what life is. We chose that, we signed up for it, we know what we're getting into. Soulmates, honestly, that's what it's like. You're basically connecting with each other constantly and being constant mirrors for each other. You're literally looking at each other in the eyes constantly, and one of you is going to trigger the other one, and you're doing this growth thing and the other one's doing this growth thing. It's a whole thing. That be plus becoming a mother and figuring everything out, it's been tough. Like, it's been real tough. Josh and I have had energy between us where I'm like, wow, it's really icky right now. Like, I love you more than anything, and that's never changed. I have the deepest love for this man in my life. But sometimes the energy between us is icky because we're figuring stuff out together, and it's rough, it's messy. That's life. Life is up, life is down. Life is never level. It might be level for a little bit, and then it pops up and then it pops down. It pops up, pops down, because we're here to grow like little poppies. So poppies pop up, poppies pop down. We're here to die and rebirth ourselves. And basically, when you give birth, you are literally giving birth to yourself as a mother as well. Be gentle on yourself. Take time to really get to know yourself. Be in the mess, be in the hardship, and be in the muck, because you will come out of it. You might take time. And I also want to say, if you really are in it in a really, really, really heavy place, please, please reach out and speak to somebody. It is really important that you reach out to somebody. If you feel like you need a little altering in your life, or you just need somebody to listen and you don't have that support in your life, find a counselor, find a psychiatrist, find an energy worker, find somebody to help you shift what you need to shift. You don't have to stay in it. One thing I'll say is, I've spoken to many people and they say, it is what it is, it's my life now. Well, no, it's not. That's just a fucking excuse, okay? I'm going to be really honest with you. That's a real big excuse. You can shift and change your life at any stage and any time, but it is really fucking scary for people. People don't want to take that leap of faith in themselves. They don't want to They don't want to acknowledge that they could have a brilliant life, but they're happy to settle, but then they're not happy and they blame it on other people. You are responsible for your life. And I say this to my women clients. You are responsible for your life. You are responsible for your actions and you're responsible for your feelings. Just like when I felt like I wasn't connecting with Oakley, I had to take responsibility for at that stage it wasn't going to happen because my mental health wasn't 100%. Oakley was also trying to find her little way in the world as well and feeling safe and comfortable. And I also really, really believe that if you really want to make a change, and you're worried that your partner or somebody is going to move away from you, or you've become a different person and your group of friends don't talk to you anymore, create new memories with new people that align with you. There's plenty of people out there. There's plenty of mothers groups. There's plenty of, this is for also people that aren't mums as well. There's plenty of things to do out there, guys, to connect with people. I used to go to yoga and Pilates and then I just meet randoms and I would just chat with them. It's just about being open and friendly, and a lot of people are not willing to be open because they've had so much hurt and pain in their life. Keep going like that though. You're not going to be able to dive deep with your partner, dive deep with some friends, get that relationship or anything that you're looking for, guys. It's really important to remember openness really does create new opportunities for you. If you're looking for new mum friends, be open to something different. Honestly, I have so many different people in my life and they live all around the world, like literally all around the world, from Canada to America to down south to over east to, all over the world. You gotta just be open and things will start to open up for you. So I hope you guys liked that little wisdom that I did for about 20 to 30 minutes, but I think it's really important, guys, to remember just be you and feel anything that comes up. And I keep saying this and I'll say it again. Please go see somebody if you feel like you're just in a rut and you just need help. Read a different book. Go to a different place. Take your baby to somewhere that you feel lights you up and they can go with you, those types of things. Or if you're single and looking for a partner, or if you're wanting to shift something in your life, make a small change in your life. You don't have to do something huge, just something little, and be gentle on yourself as you go about it. So I hope you guys liked this podcast today and enjoyed it. Yeah, that's it. We're at a wrap, guys. I'm about to go eat my chalky egg. I'm like halfway through this chalky egg. Oakley's asleep, so I'm gonna go and give myself a bit of my own time now. Yeah, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. I would love to hear more and more about what you guys are thinking about this podcast. It also helps me evolve as well, being my first podcast. So yeah, thanks guys, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week, and I will see you next Wednesday.